morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let's try that again. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let's go ahead and get this party started. Everybody stand up. All right. My name is Mr. Davis. In this realm, I'm known as Davis Sensei. This is Jake, and he's known as Kohai or Senpai. In other words, a very high-level student, someone who's a high-ranked student. Okay. We're going to teach you a couple things about our traditional martial art of Kendo. First thing we're going to teach you is how to say good morning in Japanese. Everybody say the state, Ohio. Ohio. Everybody knows how to go, so say go.
Go.
That's an informal term for pizza. Say za.
Za.
Say the letter E.
E.
End it with mas.
Mas.
Ohio gozaimasu.
Ohio gozaimasu.
Very good. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Now let's start with array. Array is a bow. We're going to we have two rays in Kendo. One is a very formal one where you go as low as possible, and you're showing this to someone much higher. Another one is about 15%, 15 degrees forward, in which case, you'll look at Jay, in which case you still have your eyes on your opponent, and you're showing respect to everyone. So let's do the 15% right now, okay? I'll say the word ray. Say ray.
Ray.
I'll say the word ray, and then you bow, right? Ray.
Ray.
Very good. Okay. You can sit down for now. Thank you. So as I said, we are here to present to you the traditional martial art. Japanese martial art. It's called Kendo. Everybody say Kendo.
Kendo.
Ken, sword, do, way of, putting together the way of the sword. Now, Kendo it's from samurai. It's from kenjutsu. It's from sword fighting. And then as it moved through the years and there was no longer a need for sword warriors, samurai, it is now more of a competition style or a martial art that we go to on the weekends 3, 4, 5 days a week, and it helps us in our lifestyle as well. Okay? One of the things that Kendo does is it teaches us about manners. Believe it or not, a martial art where you fight someone else teaches about manners. All right, now that's the difference that I'm going to make between martial art and now I'm going to use the term Budo. Everybody say Budo. Budo. In Japan and Korea and other places as well, when parents sit down at night and they try to figure out, hey, you know, what martial art, what Budo do we want to send our kids to, they're doing so not because they just want to go and have something to do after school. Not because they just want to go and make them stronger people, which it will, but really, and this is the best way I can explain it, it helps make them more Japanese. It helps make them more green because everything we're going to show you today is traditional. It is historical. It goes back. It is backed up through the culture. The culture of Japan is very manners-based. And so is martial arts. So it's almost sending them there to reinforce the cultural values. That's the difference. It's a little harder. Anybody in here do martial arts at all, or ever know somebody that's done martial arts? Nobody's ever known anybody that's done martial arts? All right. Well, imagine that you did. Now, I'm not taking a dig at those who do martial arts in America. I'm not. Not at all. For all I know, you're doing the same thing there. But traditionally, we don't send our students in America to do martial arts to become more American. Right? We send them to be better people, usually, or to give them something to do, build confidence. There's a stipulation. They do send them to build confidence, but they also do it to reinforce the values. All right, the values of the culture. All right, everything we're going to show. Any questions from the start? No? Everybody's good? All right. From manners, it begins with putting on everything. What do you see us wearing? Looks like a gi, which is also known, translated to a what? Robe. What else? What would you put on for an event? Oh, somebody said it. Teachers. Hey, come on now. It's a uniform, right? It is a uniform. In this case, we call this one the hakama. Everybody say hakama. Looks like a dress, but it's not, right? This one we call the kendo gi. Everybody say kendo gi.
Kendo gi.
Even when we put this on, we do so with manners. We don't put it on sloppily. Right? We don't put it on with wrinkles. When we take it off, we don't just throw it in this corner of our room and wait for the next practice. All right? We have a traditional way of folding things, putting things up. All right? From there, it starts with manners. From the very point you get ready to do Kendo, it starts to your dojo or classroom or the building or the middle of the field that you're going to practice in, you show manners. We're going to show you 3 specific things you do in Kendo to exhibit good manners. Everybody stand up. Imagine you show up to your classroom, your dojo. You have classrooms here. You have dojos here. You have places where you learn. The very first thing you do when you enter into the door is you find the most traditional area in Japan. That would be the shrine, or that would be whatever they have set up. It could be the teacher's desk, your boss's desk, whatever they've shown as the most important place in the room. That's called shomen. Everybody say shomen.
Shomen.
All right. The next one is going to be sensei or teacher. That's what it translates to in Japan, in Japanese. Sensei equals teacher. Everybody say sensei.
Sensei.
And the last one is everyone. And that is otogai ni. Everyone say otogai ni. All right, you're ready. Even as we prepare for class, prepare for honor, there are very traditional ways of doing things, very traditional ways of sitting. This is all historical. It's all cultural. 2 people started to engage in a duel or a fight, they would do this. They would show manners to each other, even though they were going into it, knowing one of them was not coming out of it. Okay? All right. First one. When I say an A, you do the bow that you practiced earlier. All right? First one is to show men. Show many. Hands by your side. Hands by your side. Show many. They. That is to your dojo, showing respect to the places you are going to learn and better yourself in. Next one is sensei. Whoever has chosen to show up to teach you and to keep your learning process going and bettering you inside of the dojo, inside martial arts, inside of the classroom, they are your sensei. They are your teacher. In the case of Kendo, I had to pass a series of tests to be a sensei. But even if I was not, if I showed up to teach you and better yourself, I'm your teacher, I'm your sensei, and therefore you should show respect to that person, whoever they are. Next one is sensei ni. I'll say it right. Sensei ni. Hey! Very good. And the last one is arguably the most important one. Otogai ni. Everyone. You go into a classroom, you go into your dojo, you go out there in life, you're doing so with others. They are helping you. You are helping them. You are all working towards a common goal. Therefore, you show respect to each other and the fact that you're all learning from each other and you're helping each other be a better person. This one's otogai ni. Otogai ni. Hey! Very good. Have a seat. Wonderful. Now we're going to put on our armor. Everything we put on now is traditional. All right? All the way down, of course, it has changed. I told you this. As technology has increased, of course, as our materials and what we can use has increased, of course. But the idea is still the same. You go look up a traditional samurai, you're going to see very similar attire. All right? And obviously, they protect certain parts of our body. Even this one protects our side. It's made of bamboo. It's the same thing our swords are made of. You might notice these are 4 pieces of bamboo put together. It's not a solid stick. So when you hit it, it kind of gives a little bit, but it still feels. Normally we do not talk while we put on our armor. When you're about ready to fight someone, this is not a trash talk moment. You trash talk in Kendo by your presence. Something called sime. Everybody say sime. Sime is the mental and physical pressure that's put on your opponent without actually having to fight them. In other words, you go into every battle knowing you're going to win. You don't have to say your opponent is trash. You don't have to say you ain't got me, I got you. Yeah, it's like, you don't have to say something like that. You exhibit that through your sinning. Now imagine if you had that same attitude going into every assignment, every test, every challenge that's presented to you. You didn't have to buck up and say it. You showed it through your presence. Now, again, we normally don't talk. I would normally be explaining some things Everything you see us putting on is exactly how we put on traditionally, in the manner that it's put on. Everything has a specific knot. Everything has a certain way it looks. If you don't, then you're sloppy. And you're showing disrespect to your craft. Now, this helmet here is probably the one that definitely has changed throughout the years. They did not have such helmets back then. This only came about in the New Age as they started to practice more with these types of bamboo swords and less actual blades. As they stopped dueling and as they stopped going into battle with their samurai swords, their katanas, they started making more of a competition, and that's where this helmet came from. But even as this, we are still tying it in a very specific manner. In order to pass high-level tests, if I don't tie my knots in the way that they're supposed to be tied, if these strings, they're called hemo, are not the exact length they're supposed to be, I failed before I even started. Even all the way down to the gloves that we put on. Left glove would go on first. Traditionally, as samurai would have to grab the reins of their horse before they would be able to grab their katana. Even as I stand up, I would always put my right leg first, in case I ever came across an untrusty samurai that would try and attack me while I was seated in a respectful position. Any questions before we get going? No? Teachers, how we doing on time? 6 minutes left? About 5 minutes left? Perfect. All right. Manners. From the start to the end. Well, once we start, of course, I'm not trying to hurt the other person intentionally. I have rules in Kendo. I'm only supposed to be hitting certain things. I'm supposed to be hitting the men. Everybody say men. I'm supposed to be hitting the kote. Everybody say kote. I'm supposed to be hitting the do. Everybody say do. And in rare cases, I'm supposed to be hitting the ski. Everybody say ski. Yeah, like skiing, right? There are 4 points to score in Kendo. That's what we're going for. We are not willy-nilly just swinging our swords and hitting people for the sake of hitting them. We're doing so in a controlled atmosphere. Starts with respect, but once we start, all that's out the window. You're fighting for your life. You're fighting to win. From the start, respect. Even as we kneel down and squat down, it's called Sonkyo. This is how they used to do it in Japanese tea houses. In traditional shrines, that's how they used to enter. They didn't have big doors like we always had. I'm going to show you the warm-up that we always do. And I want you to notice what's going on with our movements. If I miss hit, happens all the time. I'm not doing it because I want to hurt him. We know that. From the start to the end. Now, is anyone interested in seeing us fight?
Yes.
I thought you would say that. same manner that we put ours on. With respect. Not only to ourselves, but to the process. Remember, historically, one of us is not walking away from that. You showed respect, even in victory. Furthermore, you showed respect, even in defeat. There's one more term I will teach you. Everybody say mesque. You have to remember this term. It's a very important term. Imagine a very large mountain. Could be Mount Fuji. Any mountain you can imagine. A very large mountain. Now imagine a beautiful landscape next to that mountain. Say mesque one more time. Mesque means even though sometimes you only see the mountain, don't forget about the beautiful landscape. Sometimes we win. That's the mountain. I also need to think about the landscape. What can I do to be better? Sometimes we lose. That could be our mountain. I have to think about the landscape. What did I learn even in my loss? You scored 55 out of 100, technically you failed, but you also got 55% right. What can you do? What did you do correct? What could you do more correct? Say it one more time. Mesque. Very good. Last one. Everybody say arigato. Gozaimasu. Arigato. Gozaimashita. We're going to say the second one. Ready? Stand up. We're going to raise together, and then we're going to say arigato gozaimashita. Ready? Ready? Arigato gozaimashita. That is thank you in Japanese. So thank you, everyone.